What's up, maggots? You're watching Knotfest. My name is Monica Strut, and I'm here with Jay from Slipknot. Jay, welcome to the very first Knotfest Australia.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's good to be here.
It's such a cool vibe. We've got, 30,000+ people here. It's completely sold out.
Now I'm nervous.
Don't talk about that. The vibe here is so good. What has been your kind of vibe walking into Knotfest?
Well, Knotfest, I think, it's something that we're incredibly proud of and that we've been able to bring all around the world now. We've brought it to Japan, Colombia, Finland, Germany. We do it in the States, a bunch of places. So the fact that now we're able to bring it to somewhere that's so special to us, like Australia, it's not often that we get the chance to come down here. So when we do, we like to make a huge impression. So what better way to do that than to bring the destination festival of Knotfest, very expanded, very thorough way of doing it. Like when we're in the States, we do the Knotfest Roadshow a lot, which we're able to kind of like compartmentalize and drive all around the country and take it a lot along for the ride. This, we're able to like really expand upon it the way that we do when we like to really sink our teeth into it. So there's a lot more bands. We have a say in what kind of food trucks we're gonna have out, and the whole Slipknot museum is a part of it. And that's, it's just such an experience that we're really happy to, we know we're not able to get down here as often as we'd like. So to now bring, the proper Knotfest experience to Australia is like incredibly gratifying at this point.
It's just been so incredible and cool to watch how the Knotfest brand has expanded like crazy over the past 10 years, all around the world, as you were just saying, and there's a Slipknot museum and stuff. You're coming up to your 10 years in the band itself. It's crazy that this is your life and you get to have your hand in not only festivals and touring and stuff, but you recently had a signing in Melbourne with Vater drumsticks.
Yeah.
That looked incredible. How was that?
It was awesome. Like I said, it's all just a matter of like really making our time here count, just because when you have opportunities in the States, it's a lot of fun to do it. But like, so for example, we have like the NAMM show, which is a trade show in the States where you can kind of, I can fly there from home in an afternoon and then fly back home and be in my own bed that night. It's like, it's not as difficult to do it as it is to, travel the distance and get here and to do special things. So it's kind of like, what do we do with our time when we're here? It's really important to us to, to show the people who support what we do and what this whole culture and ecosystem of bands and artists is about. It really means a lot to us. So when the opportunity presents itself where we can, come and just say, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking an interest in what we're doing. Why not go the distance and try to do it all, So yeah, yesterday at Macron Music, it was great to say hello to a ton of friendly people. And, the fact that people are spending their time with us is super rad. And yeah, to celebrate it here with Knotfest is like, let's make a weekend out of it. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So yeah, felt great to do it.
One of the things that really struck me about the footage from that event is there was so many like little kids there having the opportunity to meet you, and you coming from a musical family yourself. Do you feel like you were always destined to be a drummer, and also how does it feel to then inspire the next generation?
I never felt pressure like from my family necessarily. My dad being a drummer, like music was always in our house and stuff, but it wasn't a pressure that I necessarily felt. I didn't start playing drums till I was 14 years old. So that's like relatively late, even when I talked to my peers who started playing when they were like 2 years old. I didn't take to it until I was like in high school. But when I did, it was everything I thought about and everything I would do every day. But so no, it's definitely a treat that I get to share that with my family, and like this experience has kind of led us along these paths. Like I'm on tour right now. My dad's on tour with his own band right now. Awesome. So it's super cool to be living that kind of parallel life in a way. And yeah, as far as like meeting young folks who are coming out to this stuff, I know exactly what that's like, like when I first met the guys in Slipknot, our friendship goes back now like 22 years. Wow. And so I remember being a young person. We met when I was 10 years old, and it was very impressionable on me because I felt like the guys, when I came to a show, I didn't feel like they were necessarily talking to me on the level of like, we're these adults and you're this kid. It was very much like they saw that I was latching onto what they were creatively doing. and that they made me feel a part of it. They made me feel like you're welcome here. Clearly this stuff is speaking to you on some deep psychological level, even as a young person, but you're part of this. And so I remember how that made me feel, and it made me feel very welcome into the Slipknot culture that's expanded into the Knotfest culture, and it's just grown, over the last 20 something years. So I remember that feeling. And so if there's any kind of connection that I can share with any young people who are getting into us for the first time and possibly seeing us for the first time tonight, that's hugely important. And I think it's part of what keeps this culture revitalized and re-energized and reinventing itself and becoming, a deeper, more expanded version of what it was. It's super cool to be a part of it. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity to meet friendly folks who are down to, check all this stuff out.
Oh, it's rad to hear you talk about that, because that attitude, it really does translate, and Slipknot fans are, they feel like a giant family, and there is a whole culture around it, even the different, arms of the brands aside. But I did want to circle back to one thing you said about having a say in the food trucks. So is there any particular cuisine that is like a must-have in terms of festival food for you?
Well, yeah, I'd say, so we've done Knotfest in like Mexico, for example, quite a bit. We're all fans of just like street tacos in the US and stuff. So like, especially when we spend a lot of time in Los Angeles, like making records and stuff. So a lot of our time is spent talking about like our creative ideas and over street tacos in Los Angeles. So then when we're able to like get down to Mexico to do Knotfest, it's like, okay, we want proper representation from the local talent of people who are making killer tacos,
Nice.
So then then you expand that to what have we got today, like crumb chicken, I believe is our dishes that are being served.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm one to say that the best flat whites are in Australia.
You heard it here first.
Yeah,
I mean,
so,
Melbourne, low-key, we're kind of coffee snobs here.
I know that, yeah.
Now that it's back.
So like that's definitely something that we, when we fly down here and we're like super jet lagged and we need our coffee, you can find plenty of Slipknot members chatting over flat whites when we're in Australia. That's just like what we do when we come here.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's a coffee truck out there doing flat whites properly.
There is, yeah. I think there's like someone even making a coffee back there.
So there you go. So we like to appreciate the the artistry on all levels. Like we like bringing our friends here. For example, I think Trivium are playing right now. They're peers and friends of ours. New friends, Knocked Loose, Spirit Box, like great bands that we're able to bring here. Local talent, Parkway Drive. And so we like to celebrate what's going on here. We like to bring out our friends and our peers that we always kind of travel with and see around the world. And then however we can integrate Australia proper and show to the rest of the world, like what Knotfest is about, and to show this is how Australia does Knotfest. And that's where it doesn't become up to us, it becomes up to everybody who's coming to show us what Australia is about, and we get to help project that all around the world.
Yeah, love that. I mean, speaking of world, you guys, segue, you guys recently were in Jakarta for the first time, which is crazy. Yeah. That looked massive.
It's insane.
How did the Indonesian fan base take to you guys?
It was awesome. I think very well. I mean, it's always a trip coming to a place where you haven't played before. And it's wild to know that like 20 something years into Slipknot's existence, we're still going to places Slipknot has never been before. Yeah. We played like Romania for the first time this year. Taiwan a number of years ago was the first time we played there. So Jakarta, it was like, yeah, we want to play Indonesia. And so we show up in Jakarta and it's kind of like, do people know who we are here or whatever? And turns out, yes. And it was a really, really fun time. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's a total treat to be able to still have new experiences like that, for guys that have been in this band for 20 odd years, to still do new stuff like that is like, what a gift, and so for all of us to enjoy that together was really special.
Yeah, amazing. Well, I mean, you've conquered so much of the world now. I mean, where to from here in terms of Knotfest, in terms of Slipknot? Like, where haven't you played that you are wanting to go to?
Man, there are places that we haven't been able to plug in, that hopefully we'll be able to get to. Like, we haven't played every continent yet, so maybe that's on the horizon. That would be really cool. That's part of any band's kind of aspirations for like global domination. You know, you hope to just play wherever you can and just spread your music as far as it can go. That being said, we have been really fortunate to do this a lot of places, and the last year especially with doing Knotfest, like I said, in Finland and Germany and Colombia. We brought it to Brazil for the first time last December. So yeah, I mean, we want to bring it as far as we can. And so it just takes time, you know, and it's hard to ask, you know, our friends and our peers and fans to be patient with us as we try to bring it new places, but this is a great start, bringing it to Australia. We'll see, you know, where else. Maybe there's a Knotfest Canada on the horizon. Who knows, you know? Don't say that it is, but I would love that, you know. We'll see.
Yeah, sure. Amazing. Well, I mean, we're just so stoked to have Knotfest here, and you know, Australia being a little bit more remote, it's always, we don't take it for granted. It's always just so amazing when, you know, festivals can come to our shores. So I mean, what can fans expect tonight from Slipknot?
They can expect everything we got. You
Yeah.
know, it's been a long 7 years since we've been back. It's not easy to get us here and to get all of our gear here, but we are here and we're going to give it everything we got, you know, so everybody better get ready. We're going to need 3 days to just blow all of our, you know, our energy out there for Australia, because it's been a long time coming and we know everybody's been very, very patient with us. So we're excited to be back.
Awesome. And so one final question to wrap things up. If you had to describe Slipknot as a movie, what would it be?
A movie. Oh boy. It's somewhere between like a musical rendition of Fight Club and like Mad Max or something. I heard somebody say like Mad Max, wasn't it the actor in Mad Max who was like our new movie's like Slipknot meets Cirque du Soleil or something. Yeah, I read that somewhere. So I'm going to take him on that and say our movie's somewhere between a like if Fight Club was about music and Mad Max. That's kind of where we're at.
Sick.
I think.
Amazing. Well, Jay, it's been absolutely wonderful speaking to you
thanks for
today
having
at the
me.
first ever Knotfest Australia. You're watching Knotfest TV.